Now, the Supreme Court continues to hear pleas seeking legal sanctity for same-sex marriage for the fourth day. Petitioners argue that Parliament does not enjoy unfettered rights on the issue of marriage equality. Petitioners also argue that 12 of the G20 countries have permitted same-sex marriages. Ashmit joins us now with the latest. Ashmit, interesting to start with because it was a hybrid hearing, two of the judges joining virtually, and of course, petitioners making their arguments that the majority should not get to decide for minorities.
Well, indeed, the proceedings were due to begin on Monday, but they could not due to two judges of the five being indisposed on account of COVID infections. But they decided to join virtually. So we had the hearing take place today of the five-judge bench hearing the matter. Today was, of course, day 4 of the arguments as far as petitioners are concerned. Now, amongst the key arguments that have been forwarded, Geeta Luthra, appearing for one of the petitioners, she argued that India is hosting G20, that G20 is upon us. But speaking of the G20, 12 of these G20 countries have very clearly allowed for same-sex marriages, and that India is behind the curve. That's one. Anand Grover, appearing for, again, one of the petitioners, argued that the government stance makes it seem that gender understandings under the LGBTQ banner seem to have come to India only with the English coming here to the country, whereas that is not the case. Anand Grover went on to argue that Indian scriptures record such gender sensibilities much beyond the Britishers coming to Indian shores. And finally, we also had Menaka Guruswamy. She argued at length to point out that not only is it a fundamental right available to the LGBTQ community in terms of marital status, it is the state is bound to, in fact, ensure that these rights are provided and that the LGBTQ community has access to these rights. Now, with those arguments, day 4 of arguments before the Apex Court has closed. The hearing in this case, we understand, will resume once again tomorrow. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. is when the Apex Court, the five-judge bench, in a hybrid mode, will take up further hearing, further arguments in this case.
All right, Ashmit, many thanks for joining us.